What's up, and Wavy here. Today got Wisdom right here. Former Rioters are making their own MOBA. Let's react to it.
Towards the end of 2021, some people might have noticed that quite a few Rioters left the company. It didn't seem to be happening for any nefarious reasons, it's just that after working at a company for 10 years, it might be nice to seek out a change. After all, it was around that time when Riot hit a new peak with Arcane. But still, just like that, some big Riot names started appearing around other games. The last big project led by former Rioters I showed you was Omega Strikers.
Never heard of it.
A really awesome sports brawler that is rooted around fun gameplay. But recently,
A mobile game?
You might have noticed another one. Project Loki, developed by Theorycraft Games, who have quite an interesting background story. And as the title of this video might suggest, be ready to see some familiar faces. This is a project that's been floating around social media for about a year now. It hasn't attracted massive attention yet, because all the playtests that happened so far were under an NDA. The thing is, I never got into any of these playtests.
Bro, this looks like Palette.
So without an NDA, I can talk about all the things we know about this
and Battle Right, yeah.
Game. Project Loki is a MOBA with many elements that people compare to Battle Right. Rest in peace.
The best game out there, and they cancelled it. This Battle Right would have been my main game. I would have made a shit ton of content for it. I would have done everything for it. I would have bought the entire shop. I would have played it till this day, because it was a perfect arena game. Like 2v2 when it won, 3v3. A shit ton of fun. But yeah, they just stopped working on it, tried different projects, and just let Battle Right rot, and that's it. Quite sad, but yeah, it is what it is.
Buddy. It has the traditional loop of picking a character and diving into action with your team. But it is sprinkled with a few amazing twists. First of all, the playable area is one massive arena, which you dive into Battle Royale style.
I don't know, man. Why must it be Battle Royale? Every single time I see this shit. I don't know. Maybe it's just a new standard, but yeah, let's watch.
Although you are not competing against 100 other players. It is a competition of seemingly 3 teams of 4 people. On the combat side, besides every character having unique abilities, you have 2 big things that are happening here. Unlike what you might be used to in traditional MOBAs, here you don't have full vision of what's around you. You can only see in a cone in front of you, which actually gives this game a lot of depth. For example, an ambush from an assassin is going to feel a lot more impactful, and you are more likely to feel the dread of someone chasing you. But also, this game is playing into physics interactions. They showcase the glider mechanics, which are cool on their own. You can jump, yes, you can jump, and you can open up your glider to traverse the gaps in the environment. But while you are gliding, you can also freely use your abilities, as long as you have enough room to land on your feet. But that is still not it.
If you fall out of a map, you are dead.
Some abilities can push your character around, which can play into the physics too. For example, here, in one of the showcased background footages, you can see the character land, drop a jumping pad, and then she shoots behind her so that the recoil gives her momentum forward. And this is really what is selling me the sandbox playground vibes. If you sprinkle some of the environmental hazards on top of it, such as trains running people over, you will start running into some wacky fun, which is something the MOBA genre really needs right now. But now you may be saying, well,
what I want to see is vision and clarity in combat. Yeah, it's pre-alpha, I guess, but it's something every company needs to work on newer games nowadays. If there's like too much going on, there are too much effects where you can't decipher when you pause a video about a game like this. You want to see, okay, that's that ability, he's shooting that, he's using just normal attacks and shit like that, you know? It's something which should be always clear. Yeah, in the midst of battle, it's always chaotic, but there should be some clarity. It would be important.
Well, you describe this as a MOBA, but this has nothing to do with League of Legends. There are no lanes, no minions, no bases to take down, and it has WASD controls. To which I would like to remind you, Actually, MOBA stands for Multiplayer Online Battle Arena, which by definition this game is. But yes, this game is quite far away from League of Legends. Is what I would say if League of Legends didn't come out with the Arena game mode. Also, yes, you can use WASD
I love that game mode.
in League 2. You see right now...
Still needs a shit ton of patches and, yeah, because it's something new. But, good concept. And they still should work on it. Don't remove it from, like, the main game like TFT. It should be something like TFT. The new mode 2v2v2v2.
Now, there seems to be an uprising
Work
of
on
an
it, right.
interesting genre. Just like we had the boom of early 2000s MMO, followed up by MOBAs, followed up by Battle Royales.
Yeah, what's the next big thing?
Now, there seems to be a little bit of a rise of battle arenas. A simplified version of the
I love battle arenas. Like, it's the best concept out there.
MOBA genre that is more about having fun with the fighting mechanics. It is true that the first one to give this a go was Battlerite, but now Project Loki is giving it a go, and League of Legends is pushing into this area as well. And all of this is really good, because game genres get defined the best when you have multiple games competing for the same market. That's what actually gives the players the best kinds of games. It's when companies are trying to be better than the rest. Another thing I'd like to mention is the character designs. You do have your typical Akali Caitlyn styled sniper.
Yeah, it really looks like that mixture.
You have your Roadhog. But to be honest, at this point it is pretty dumb to just compare characters between different games.
Yeah.
So let's just appreciate how
I just call them like Reinhardt or something like that because I feel like it, you know?
good the Loki character design is. From Ghost.
So I'm not a guy who says, yeah, they copied from that game. It's something different. I'm not flaming on it. It's something every company should do, and every company does that. So who cares?
Big cyberpunk gunslingers, to stretchy chunky shotgun boys, to pyromaniac foxes.
Yeah.
These seem to be the playable characters that were available during the early playtests. But then we can also have a look at some of their art. And here you can find your classic soldier with a rifle,
Soldier with a rifle,
goat sage, an awesome mech spirit, which it is possible that one of those was playable in one of the demos, but
okay,
that would mean that these are early concepts, so I don't know. But also Undertale. I'm totally not gonna cry when this character dies. In general, It seems like the team knows exactly what they are doing with the character designs. They have a clear vision and they seem to be going right after it. And it makes sense if you consider who Theorycraft games are. You see, I first learned about Project Loki by following Joe on Twitter. We are still gonna call it Twitter. Of course, this is the person...
X, why did they call it X? Like, I was so confused when I opened my phone, man. What is this?
You may remember from all the League of Legends updates, as well as the 10th anniversary. After he announced that he was leaving Riot Games, he also name-dropped Theorycraft Games, a new studio that was forming up. And many months after that, Theorycraft Games confirmed that the first game they were working on was Project Loki. Or at least for now, that's the code name for the game. At this point, I already wanted to talk about this game because the core gameplay looked fun. It also seemed to be a meaningful competitor to League of Legends, so it was relevant to this channel. And also, Joe was a former writer, so the title of the video was writing itself. But then, I noticed something really awesome. Somewhat recently, Theorycraft Games released 2 videos where they revealed the game. In one of them, Joe explained what the game was about, and in the second one, John and Jess dived into the development, which is where I paused for a moment. I recognized John, known as Bellissimo, who was previously the lead producer of League of Legends and who became the game director. And you might remember Jess, also known as SafeLocked, for having to deliver that one unfortunate line.
And we're still hearing that new champions feel unfair to play against, particularly when it comes to complex abilities or overloaded kits.
Because they do.
If we're being completely honest, we don't think our champions have overloaded kits overall. But that being said, there have been times when we've given new champions too many tools and had to pull back later to give them more clear weaknesses.
Looking back, I still see it as just a meme. I'm still a bit on Riot's side. I think the kits were fine, it's just that you also need to give players easy to play champions on top of it. Regardless, someone had to deliver the script, and so it just happened to be her. But now we have 3 big faces from Riot Games that people recognize. And despite the incident I just mentioned, all of these were respected developers. They knew what they were doing. They were all very good at making games. So I had a thought. At the beginning of 2023, when all of that happened, Meddler and
Oh yeah. Harsh beginning.
Bright Moon came out and confirmed that the League of Legends team actually lost a lot of people, and that 2022 was about rebuilding the teams. So I wondered, could it be that a lot of those people who left went and joined Theorycraft Games? Well,
L, Theorycraft Games. New shit? I don't know. What? Okay.
that's right, their website lists 28 of former Riot developers, from Valorant to TFT to League of Legends. And on top of that, we have some veterans from old Blizzard as well as other companies. I know that none of this really means anything, but I just wanted to mention it as a cool fact. It definitely gives this project a cool background. And on top of this lineup gives people a lot of confidence. It really feels like a passion project from the devs who are working in the field. And who knows, if battle arenas do prove to be the next viral game genre, this team might have a massive W on their back. But again, this will all go down to how well they can capture the fun of pure gameplay. One of the big reasons why Battlerite died is because they didn't have a lot of variety between games. In League's arena, at least you have some of the hazards, and the plants serve as a good objective to fight around, not to mention the augments. In Loki, by looking at the map, you can see that you will be fighting.
You need a grind in the game. Like there are multiple grinds. The grinds where you're in the game where you grind your armor and shit, or abilities, augments, or something he just told us about. And something in the background where you can still progress, like the challenges and shit. And a level, ranked, quite important. Or different mechanics which, like, you get by playing enough games. Would be nice.
For some loot, similarly to something like Apex, but you will also deal with some environmental hazards. So they definitely seem to be going in the right direction. But hey, that's something I would have a lot more context on if I got into one of the playtests.
Yeah. Damn.
So,
Wrong video. So, great video.
the word
Go subscribe to Necrit. He made the content. I just reacted to it. And yeah, let me know if you know more about this shit. I want to see more content about it. Even Theorycraft Games immediately commented under Necrit. Okay, we know what is going on. And yeah, I guess that's it. And I guess see you next time. Way fun.